Hello, everybody. Once again, I am welcoming all of you on behalf of Sankardev IAS Academy. And this is the second video of the, the first test. The first test that is related with your history and the independence movement of India. So, in the first video, uh, we have gone through up to the question number 50, and in this video we will try to discuss rest of the 50 questions. So let us start the question number 51. Question number 51. One of the earliest and the best known mutinies before the revolt of 1857 was. The answer is, my dear, the Vellore Mutiny of 1806. Where is Vellore? It is in Tamil Nadu. And here, the Indian soldiers working under the British Army, they were not allowed to use their religious signs or symbols. Like the Hindu soldiers were not allowed to use what? To use tilak. And the Muslims, they were not allowed to have a beard. So they started revolt, and the soldiers, they also got support from the family members of the Tipu Sultan. Got it? And at that time, you know who was the Governor General? So you have to answer me, who was the Governor General in 1806 during the time of Vellore Mutiny, in the comment box. I am not uh, giving you any clue, but uh, it may be, you can say, a Governor General between the Minto first and the Lord Wellesley. So comment me or answer me on the comment box, who was the Governor General or the British Governor General during the time of Vellore Mutiny. Moving on to the question number 52, it's an important one. Indian handicraft industry rapidly declined because of lack of patronage, because of the British expansionist policy or the British territorial expansion. Many Indian rulers, they lost their territory, they lost their kingdom. And I think that you might be aware that the Indian rulers and their soldiers, bureaucracy, were the main consumer of the Indian handicraft good. So the lack of patronage was one cause. Growing craze for imported goods. Yes, it is also correct, because the machine made goods that were imported from Britain were cheaper than the handmade goods of India, and of fine quality as well. So the people uh, gradually they started purchasing the imported goods. Third, stiff competition from the machine made goods of England. Yes, stiff competition. The machine made goods were cheaper and their quality was better than the handmade goods. So all the regions were responsible for the decline of handicraft industry, including the expansion or the arrival or advent of railway in India as well. So here the answer is what? All of the above. Rani Lakshmi Bai died fighting the British in the battle where? Answer is Gwalior. First, Lakshmi Bai was defeated by heroes where? At Jhansi and then at Gwalior. And in Gwalior she died. Who? The Lakshmi Bai, Manikarnika. So the answer of question number 53 is C. Coming on to the question number 54, a 19th century social reformer who is regarded as the bridge between the past and the future is, here the answer is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He is regarded as a bridge between the past and the future. Raja Ram Mohan Roy had not discarded what? All the cultural aspect of India's past. He only requested, he urged the Indians to discard only those aspects of Indian culture which is regressive in nature, which is exploitative in nature. Like he urged the Indians to do away with what? The practice of sati. But at the same time, he did not want India to be a Christian country. So that's why in that, and as far as this word is concerned, he requested the Indians to accept the modern education based on rationalism, scientific thought, equality. So that's why Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the social reformer from Bengal region, and the father of, you can say, the Indian Renaissance or the Indian social and religious reform movement of 19th century, is regarded as the bridge between the past and the future. I think that you all might be aware that because of his effort in the year 1829, British Governor General Lord William Bentinck abolished practice of sati in India. Moving on to the question number 55. Who played Socrates to the first generation of the English educated young men of Bengal? Here the answer is C, the founder of Young Bengal movement. But if the question would be who is called the Socrates of Maharashtra, then the answer would be Mahadev Govind Ranade. So here the answer is the founder of the Young Bengal movement, Henry Vivian Deregio. And Henry Vivian Deregio, remember, he was not an English, he was not European, rather he was Anglo-Indian, and he was the lecturer where? At the Hindu College, Calcutta. Got it? So he established or he started Young Bengal movement, founded debating clubs, debating societies in Bengal, and he is also considered as the first nationalist poet of India. Who? The Henry Vivian Deregio. Now the question number 56. At the Calcutta session of Indian National Congress held in 1906, the flag of Swaraj for India was unfurled by its president. And who was the president? Dadabhai Nauroji, the grand old man of India and the first Asian to be elected or to become the member of British Parliament, Dadabhai Nauroji. And I think that you all might be aware that in this conference, Indian National Congress declared its aim as Swaraj. Question number 57. The All India Muslim League was founded in December 1906. Where? Answer is Dhaka. By whom? By Aga Khan and the Nawab of Dhaka. Most the unable to recall the name of Nawab of Dhaka, Aga Khan, and unable to recall, and that was also the first president of the All India Muslim League. Mohsinul Mulk was not there, Wakarul Mulk was not there, the Nawab of Dhaka, unable to recall the name right now, but yes, it was founded where? In Dhaka, 1906, under the leadership of Aga Khan. Yes, coming on to the question number 58. The mother of the Indian Revolution. Who is called the mother of the Indian Revolution? Madam Bhikaji Kama, an Indian Parsi lady. Indian Parsi lady. Many times she assisted whom? Many times she assisted the Indian revolutionaries. Yes, now I got the name Aga Khan and Wakarul Mulk. Got it? Yes, so here the answer of question number 58 is Madam Bhikaji Kama. She also published the newspaper Vande Mataram, where? France. And she was well supported by the founder of the Gadar party, Lala Hardyal. Question number 59. The Ghadar Party was founded in the year 1913, San Francisco, USA. By whom? By Lala Hardayal. But if the question would be who was the first president of the Ghadar Party? You know, Ghadar Party was a revolutionary party whose aim was to abolish the British rule in India. So, founded by Lala Hardayal, but its first president became Sohan Singh Bhakhna. Sohan S. Singh Bhakhna. Remember this. The first president. But it was founded by Lala Hardayal. Question number 60. The Alipur conspiracy case was launched against the revolutionary activities of. Answer is Anushilhan Samiti. Alipur, where is Alipur? It is in Kolkata. And in Bengal, we have two important revolutionary committees or volunteer organization, Anushilhan and Jugantar. Anushilhan Samiti and Jugantar Samiti. Clear? Abhinav Bharat is where? Abhinav Bharat, it was founded by Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Where? In the Maharashtra region. Ghadar Party, San Francisco. So here answer is Anushilhan Samiti. The idea of starting a home rule league in 1915 was first propounded by Annie Besant. Annie Besant, you know that Annie Besant was from Ireland. She was from Ireland and she admired or she respect Indian culture a lot. Annie Besant was involved in the Irish Home Rule movement, and as well as she also started Home Rule movement along with Bal Gangadhar Tilak in India. So the idea of starting a Home Rule League in 1915 was first propounded by Annie Besant. Annie Besant, I think that you might be aware that she was associated with Theosophical Society and also established Banaras Hindu College in 1898. Yes, coming on to the question number 62. Rabindranath Tagore surrendered his knighthood in protest against. It's an easy question, and so many times this type of question has been asked by various state public service commission in their civil services exam, civil services prelims exam. So here the answer is Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. Rabindranath Tagore surrendered his knighthood to protest what? Thus Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. 13th of April 1919, this tragedy occurred when General Dyer, without giving warning to unarmed protesters, he opened what? Fire, and as per government data, around 379 people, they lost their life. Then coming on to the question number 63, the day December 22nd, 1939, the Congress minister resigned in the provinces. The Muslim League celebrated or observed this day as what? Day of Deliverance, also known as Mukti Divas. So when Congress ministries resigned in 1939, why they resigned? Because the Viceroy of India, Lord Linlithgow, without consulting the Congress ministries, declared India as a belligerent state or declared India as a part in the Second World War. So on this the Congress ministries, they resigned because they were not consulted by whom? By the Viceroy, and Viceroy alone had taken decision that India is a belligerent state. India is a part of Second World War. India supporting Britain in the Second World War. So on this they have resigned. And the resignation of the Congress ministries was celebrated by Muslim League as a day of deliverance. Remember this date, December 22. It's an important question. The members of the Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan's Red Shirt movement were known as Khudai Khidmatgar or the servant of God. You know Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, also known as Frontier Gandhi. He believed in the Gandhian's ideology. He was a Pakhtun Pathan. You know that the Pathan of who are living in the Peshawar or even in the part of Afghanistan, they are stereotyped as savage, brutal, violent. But such is not the case with whom? With the Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He strictly followed the Gandhian principle of non-violence, and he formed Khudai Khidmatgar, an association. And the people or the follower of this Khudai Khidmatgar, they wear what? Red shirt. So that's why their movement is also known as Red Shirt Movement. And their followers were known as Red Shirt or the Lal Kurti. Question number 65. The Working Committee of the Congress passed the Quit India resolution. It's a bit tricky one. The Working Committee of the Congress. They passed the Quit India resolution on July 14, 1942, where Wardha. Wardha. And then on 7th and 8th of August, where all the important members of Congress they met where at the Agast Kranti Maidan or Gwalia Tank, Mumbai. And once again here they have decided that we are going to launch the Quit India movement. So, but when Congress first decided to start a Quit India movement, answer is July 14, 1942, where Wardha. Question number 66. India was partitioned as a consequence of the formula contained in. Answer is C. June 3rd or Mountbatten Plan 3rd June 1947. So, on the basis of the Mountbatten Plan or the 3rd June Plan, India has been partitioned into two dominion, India and the Pakistan. Got it? So it's an important question. Now coming on to the question number 67, the Servant of India Society was founded by the political mentor of Mahatma Gandhi, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, in 1905. It's an important question. Then 68, which of the following writers did not have a profound influence on the thinking of Mahatma Gandhi? Leo Tolstoy uh, had impact on what? Gandhian ideology like non-violence, satyagraha. Thoreau, Henry David Thoreau. Uh, Mahatma Gandhi was inspired from David Thoreau's idea of civil disobedience movement. So, from where Mahatma Gandhi learned the idea of civil disobedience? Answer is from the Henry David Thoreau's or the Thoreau's views. Then John Ruskin, the concept of what? Sarvodaya, Sarvodaya or development to all or rise to all. So from where Mahatma Gandhi was inspired, his ideology of Sarvodaya or Sarvodaya. तो कहाँ से इंस्पायर्ड हुए महात्मा गांधी? फ्रॉम वेयर? आंसर इज द जॉन रस्किन्स. जॉन रस्किन की एक बुक थी, अ बुक अनटू दिस लास्ट और अनटू द लास्ट. तो महात्मा गांधी वॉज इंस्पायर्ड फ्रॉम द टॉल्स्टॉय, हेनरी डेविड थरो एंड द जॉन रस्किन्स, बट नॉट मार्क्स. Marx believe in class struggle, but Mahatma Gandhi believe in class cooperation. So here answer is what? D. The word Pakistan was coined by Chaudhry Rahmat Ali. Chaudhry Rahmat Ali in the around 1933 he coined the term Pakistan. Question number 70. Who was the English ambassador who got permission from Jahangir to build factory for East India Company? English ambassador who got permission from Jahangir to build factory for East India Company across the Mughal Empire. Across the Mughal Empire. Answer is Thomas Roe. Answer is what? Thomas Roe. Got it? Now coming on to the question number 71. Kamrup Kingdom was mentioned in which of the following pillar of the Gupta king Samudragupta? It's a simple. Samudragupta's pillar or eulogy is known as what? Allahabad pillar or Prayag eulogy. Prayag eulogy. Got it? So in Prayag eulogy, Kamrup kingdom has been mentioned. Now in comment box you have to write who was the author of Prayag eulogy. Yes. So yes, in the Prayag eulogy of Samudragupta, Kamrup kingdom has been mentioned. And in this, according to this eulogy, you know, the ruler of Kamrup kingdom was Pushyavarman, P for Pushyavarman, and he was defeated by Samudragupta. So answer of 71 is the Allahabad pillar or Prayag eulogy. Now coming on to the question number 72, which of the following Varman kingdom or king was defeated by Samudragupta in connection with the Aswamedha sacrifice? Answer is what? Pushyavarman. Pushyavarman. Remember this. Then coming to the question number 73, who was the first king from Assam to perform Aswamedh Yagya? Ashwamedh Yagya. It was the Bhaskar Varman, the contemporary of Harsvardhana. He was one of the most prominent ruler of the Varman dynasty, you can say, Bhaskar Varman. So he performed Aswamedha sacrifice or the horse sacrifice. Got it? Coming on to the question number 74, who created the first separate political entity in Bengal region of India subcontinent called the Gauda kingdom? Answer is Sasank. Gauda kingdom means what? The kingdom of Bengal. So Gauda kingdom lies where? In the Bengal. And you know, Sasank was anti-Buddhist and he worshipped Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. Who? Sasank. And he cut down the Bodhi tree located where? At Bodh Gaya. Got it? So answer of 74 is A. 75. Who was the father of Bhagadatta who had taken part in the war of Mahabharata? This is a mythological story given in Kalika Purana. Given in which Purana? Kalika Purana. Mythological story. So the father of Bhagadatta was the Asur Naraka. You know this. He participated in the battle of Mahabharata, and he was master in what? Elephants war. But finally, he was killed by whom? By the Arjuna. Got it? Bhagadatta fought along the side of Kauravas, not along the side of Pandavas. But he was killed by Bhagadatta was killed by whom? By the Arjuna in the famous battle of Mahabharata. So the answer of 75 is Asur Naraka. Then question number 76, who occupied the Kamrup kingdom after the end of Varman dynasty? Answer is Salastambha, also known as Malekch dynasty. Salastambh or the Malekch dynasty. So after the downfall of the Varman dynasty of Kamrup kingdom around 650 CE, the Varman kingdom was declined, and then it was taken over by whom? By the Salastambha or the Malekch dynasty. Now the question number 77, where was the capital of the Salastambha dynasty of Kamrup? The answer is Harupeshwar. Harupeshwar. Where is this Harupeshwar? Tejpur. So their capital of the Salastambha or the Malekch dynasty was Harupeshwar. Question number 78. Harsha demanded Chinese pilgrim Wensang to send back to his court during the period of? Very simple one, Bhaskar Varman. You know, Bhaskar Varman and Harsha both were friend to each other because Harsha and Bhaskar Varman both had an enmity with whom? With Sasank, the ruler of Gauda. So he requested, Harsha demanded that you should what? You should send him, you should send whom? The Wensang, the third Chinese traveler. The first Chinese traveler, Fahian. Second one, Sung Yun. And the third one, Wensang. And Wensang wrote C.U. Ki. C.U. Ki, the book written by the Wensang. Got it? Yes, coming on to the question number 79. Ahom Mughal conflict ended with which battle? You know, during the reign of Pratap Singh, I think that around 1615, the Ahom and Mughal conflict started. But now this conflict is going to end with what? With this battle of Itakhuli. Battle of Itakhuli, it was fought around 1682. 1682. And in this, Ahom defeated the Mughal commander general Mansur Khan. And the Mughals were pushed back up to the Manas river. Manas river. So, Battle of Itakhuli. Answer is C. Name the Mughal general who took possession of the Ahom capital Gargaon in 1662. The answer is Mir Jumla. He was the officer of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, and for the time being, he established his control over the Ahom capital for the time being. Got it? So, answer of question number 80 is C. Mir Jumla. The rule of Ahom kingdom ended with the invasion of Burmese. Burmese invasion. You know, Burmese defeated the Ahoms and they established their control over parts of Assam. Then came home the British, and finally, in the first Anglo-Burmese war, British defeated whom? The Burmese, and through the Treaty of Yandabu, the British got control over what? Over the Assam, Manipur, etc. So the first Ahom kingdom ended by the Burmese because they were defeated, and then came what? The British, and finally British defeated the Burmese, and Burmese had to sign this treaty, had to accept the Treaty of Yandabu, and under this treaty the Burmese surrender Assam, Manipur to whom? To the British in the year 1800, around 1826. Question number 82. What is the Treaty of Asurar Ali? So this was a, you can say, a peace treaty between the Mughal and the Ahom. Between Mughal and the Ahom. This treaty was signed, I think that in 1639. Got it? 1639. Peace treaty between Mughals and Ahoms. Ahom recognized a part of Kamrup under the Mughal control, and at the same time Mughals promised the Ahoms that they are not going to interfere in their affairs, in their administration, in their internal matters. And Mughal and Ahoms also signed a trade treaty. So it was a peace treaty between the Mughals and the Ahom, Treaty of Asurar Ali. Got it? Now comes to the famous battle, the Sarai Ghat. So during which Ahom king reign, the Sarai Ghat battle was ended with a decisive win over the Mughals. You know, here in this particular battle, that is in the battle of Sarai Ghat, The Mughal army was led by Ram Singh, the Rajput ruler. But here he was defeated. Although the Ahoms had limited army, Mughals had what very vast army, good artillery, but in spite of that they were defeated because of what the because of the very good and efficient tactics implemented by the Ahoms, by the guerrilla warfare, by efficient naval warfare, you can say. So initially, when this Saraighat was started, Battle of Saraighat was started. At that time, the ruler was Chakradhwaj, but soon he died. And then who became the ruler? Answer is the Udayaditya. Udayaditya Singha became what? Became the ruler. So when this Saraighat battle was ended, at that time who was the ruler? Answer is Udayaditya Singha, not the Chakradhwaj. When this battle started, at that time ruler was Chakradhwaj. When this battle ended, ruler was Udayaditya Singha. Now coming on to the question number 84, who is the author of the book Plante Raj to Swaraj, Freedom Struggle and Electoral Politics in Assam? Answer is the prominent historian Amalendu Guha. Amalendu Guha. He wrote Plante Raj to Swaraj. Question number 85. Assam was separated from Bengal and was put under a chief commissioner in the year 1874. And in that 1874, Silhat was also became a part of Assam. Silhat. 86. Who founded the Assam Association? Answer is Manik Chandra Barua in 1903. You know, Manik Chandra Barua was a scholar, and he wrote a letter in the form of petition to British government, and he requested that British government should establish or must establish a college where in Assam. So on his request, finally, in I think that 1900 or 1901, Cotton College was established. Initially, its name was not Cotton College, but in 1902, it was known as Cotton College. And I think that you might be aware that the Cotton College, Guwahati, is also called the cradle of Assamese intelligentsia. Cradle of the Assamese intelligentsia. So Manik Chand Barua was involved in what? In the foundation of the Cotton College and the Assam Association. Manik Chand Barua. Question number 87. Assam Sahitya Sabha was established in which year? Assam Sahitya Sabha was established in 1917 by Padmanath Barua. Padmanath Barua was its first president, in fact. Got it? Now coming on to the question number 88. Who founded the Sarvajanik Sabha in Assam in the year 1884? Answer is Jagannath Barua. Jagannath Barua. Got it? In 1884. Yes, coming on to the question number 89. Which of the following marks the beginning of medieval era of Assam history? Here answer is what? Establishment of Kamta kingdom. You know that around 1257 this Kamta kingdom was established, and this establishment is considered as the end of ancient period and the beginning of medieval period in the history of Assam. So the answer is B. Question number 90. Here you have to do a little bit correction. Medieval poet Rama Saraswati was a court poet of which of the following ruler? He was in the court of Nar Narayan. Got it? Hema Saraswati, he was in the court of what? The Durlabh Narayan. Hema Saraswati, one of the earliest poet of the Assamese literature, Assamese language. And this Rama Saraswati, he was the contemporary of the great Sankardeva, Srimant Sankardeva, and he was in the court of Nar Narayan. And Rama Saraswati translated the Sanskrit Mahabharata into the early Assamese language. Hema Saraswati related to 14th century. Rama Saraswati related to 16th century, contemporary to the Srimant Sankardeva. And Rama Saraswati was in the court of Nar Narayana. So here you have to make a little bit correction. Question number 91, the historic Assam Accord was signed on. It was signed on 15th of August 1985 between the central government and the All Assam Student Union. Got it? In 1985. And this Assam Accord was basically related with what? Basically related with the migrant people, the illegal migrant people. How many clauses are there in the Assam Accord? The Assam Accord has 15 clauses. Question number 93. Who represented Assam in the Round Table Conference of 1930? 1930. Here you have to make a little bit correction. 1930. And the answer is Chandradhar Barua. Chandradhar Barua represented what? The Assam in the first Round Table Conference 1930. You know that British government convened 3 Round Table Conference in 1930, 1931 and 1932. So in 1930, Chandradhar Barua, he was the second president, you can say, of the Assam Sahitya Parishad, or one of the founding member of the Assam Sahitya Parishad, Chandradhar Barua. Then who was the first elected president of the Assam Pradesh Congress Committee established in 1921? Answer is Kuladhar Chaliha. Kuladhar Chaliha was the first elected president of the Assam Pradesh Congress Committee established in the year 1921. Then 95 is a bit easy. Who led the revolt of 1857 in Assam? Answer is what? Maniram Devan. Maniram Devan. He was the leader. You know that Maniram Devan or Maniram Datta was the first Indian who have the tea gardens. But later on, differences arose between the British authority and the Maniram Devan. And finally, Maniram Devan tried to re-establish the Ahom kingdom. British got this information and finally he was captured, and along with Piali Barua on 26th of February 1858, he was executed. Maniram Devan. Got it? Yes, question number 96. The famous lecturer of Assam who left his job to participate in Quit India movement was Hem Barua. Hem Barua. Got it? Then question number 97. Which of the following is known as the Assam's Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Answer is Pathur Ghat. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Let me show here. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So Pathur Ghat is where? It is in the Assam's Darang district. And what happened here? In 1894, British officers fired on the unarmed protesters. unarmed protesters. So now why the farmers they started what? They started agitation. Why the farmers of the Pathurghat they started agitation? So it was against the excessive increase in the land revenue. Excessive increase in the land revenue. Got it? So British fired, and as per government data, around 15 farmers they were killed. But as per uh, the eyewitness Narottam Koch, around 140 farmers they lost their life. As per government data, 15 farmers they were killed. But who was the eyewitness? Narottam Koch. So according to him, 140 farmers they lost their lives. So here the answer is Pathurghat, 1894. Remember this. Who was the governor of Assam during the Quit India movement? The answer is Andrew Clow. Andrew Clow. Who among the following went to Salt March from Assam? Answer is its answer is Leeladhar Barua. Let me see. The answer is yes. The answer is the Leeladhar Barua. Salt March from Assam, Leeladhar Barua. Then Assam's first peasant movement against the British rule was. First peasant movement against the British rule was. Answer is Fulaguri Dhawa, 1861. 1861. Fulaguri Dhawa. Where is this Fulaguri Dhawa? It is in Nagaon district. And here, what British did? British they imposed a ban on opium cultivation and proposed a taxation on betel leaf. So the farmers started agitation, and in that agitation, a British officer whose name was Lieutenant Singer, he was killed. But finally, Campbell ordered firing, and around 39 farmers they lost their life. So who suppressed this revolt? Campbell suppressed this revolt. And after this suppression, many farmers were arrested and 3 were executed. Lakshman Singh Deka Senapati, Rangbar Deka and the Changbar Deka were executed. So Lakshman, Rangbar and the Changbar were executed after the suppression of this Fulaguri Dhawa revolt, 1861. So this is all about uh, the second part. So in the next video you will have discussion related to geography, Indian geography and the world geography. So thank you.